Mommy Track Daddy Whispers podcast is now called Birth Agni Podcast.
Hello, how's your coffee this morning? And if you're having a cup of tea in the evening, I hope that keeps you warm and motivated for the rest of the day. Today, we have gathered as a part of a major theme for this month, which is knowing the birthing process. A lot of us in India do not know what to expect in a birthing room. We get pregnant, we reach the delivery stage, and keep going with the flow. We do not have the right tools to make informed decisions when things do not go the way we expect. Unfortunately, the business oriented new delivery processes are not helpful at all, too. At the end of this episode, you would know where to start that learning journey. Welcome to Mommy Track Daddy Whispers podcast, a place where we discuss pregnancy, postpartum, and parenting. We try and give a voice to things that are less talked about. We intend to generate awareness through expert knowledge, information, and experiences, and grow into a community wherein we mutually uplift each other. I'm your host Divya, and let us now bring on our guest for today, Niati V Mariiyya. She is an emotional wellness coach, a hypnobirthing child educator with a decade of experience in the field of emotional health. Her academic qualifications include MBA, BTech, and she's a staunch believer of holistic health and use of natural methods for healing. Niyati, welcome to Mommy Track Daddy Whispers podcast.
Thank you so much, Divya.
Niyati, whenever I address you, I have to tell you this. I feel this very strong connect between your name and what you do. You help ease out the process of birthing, you bring new lives into the world, you make it all an easier transition. What inspired you to choose this profession?
I had already been in the field of emotional wellness. I had been practicing theta healing and hypnosis. And during that process, I figured out that the root of many of our problems that people face, it emerged from a belief that they would have picked up by the time when they were still in their mother's womb. The conscious mind of the baby is formed post birth, but the subconscious is very much there and it assimilates the various thoughts coming from the baby's environment. Since the conscious is not active to analyze and understand the things happening around him or her, the baby may interpret the situation in varied ways, which may affect his or her life later on. So, for
Okay.
example, if the mother has not eaten food for long as she is busy looking after others, the baby may just pick up the thought, I am my mother's last priority, or I am not important. And these beliefs may manifest in his or her life in form of people who may just ignore him, or they may just end up inviting failures after failures in their life because they feel that they are just not good enough. They are not worthy of receiving the good. So, as an
Hmm.
emotional wellness therapist, I came across many such cases, and I always wondered how we can stop the damage from occurring in the first place rather than resorting to damage repair later on. And
Hmm.
hypnobirthing was my answer.
Okay.
Hypnobirthing, with its myriad techniques of prenatal bonding, relaxation, and visualization, it seemed to provide the perfect answer that I was looking for. Being part of the hypnobirthing course made me realize the beauty of the complete process of conception and birthing. Birthing is truly a miracle, and I feel the more we are able to become aware about it, the more we are opening ourselves to witness this miracle in its full glory. So it's a topic which is really close to my heart, and it has prompted me to also certify as a hypnofertility consultant. So I can help more and more people witness this miracles.
Yeah, and from all that you just told us, the one thing that I could register was that whatever happens to our life, even in the adult stage, could very well relate to what we experienced when we were right in the womb. And that's astonishing to me. I know that people say a child is able to see and feel the world, they can listen to what you're saying, but to be able to have such a huge impact or that kind of an expression on you that
Hmm.
it later translates into your life, that is something that is amazing to me. Would you like to elaborate a bit on it?
See, what happens is we all have a conscious mind which does all the logical reasoning and the analyzing and decision making in our life. But a
Mm,
majority part of our mind is the subconscious part, which is like the conscious is just the tip of the iceberg. The remaining is the subconscious. And all the thoughts and the beliefs that we are storing in our subconscious mind, they impact our energy. We are all energy beings. So whatever we think, whatever we experience, whatever thoughts are going in our mind, they impact our energy, and with that energy we attract experiences in our life. How it happens?
mm,
Many times when we believe that generally people are not trustworthy. So if somebody will actually cheat you, what do we say? See, I told you. You just can't trust people these days. What we
mm,
fail to understand is that it is our own belief that people are not trustworthy is attracting such integrity compromised people in our lives. So, whatever you believe, your mind is going to attract the same so that whatever you believe is a reality for you. And
mm.
same is true even for the belief that you have got in your womb. At that time, since the conscious is not developed, the child is just picking up everything and putting them in the subconscious, which is about 6,000 times stronger than your conscious mind. Now, with beliefs
Mm.
in your subconscious, even when the child, it comes into this world, they're constantly vibrating with the energy of those beliefs. And that is how they're going to attract experiences in their lives.
Yeah. That is to say, our view of the world is basically our perception of it, and it can differ from person to person.
Our perception is formed by our beliefs, and our
Mm.
beliefs are different for every, it's like fingerprints. Our belief print is different for every individual, even two kids who are brought up in the same family with the same set of parents, they have a different belief system. That is where our personality comes from, right?
Okay.
So how we see
Yeah.
the world, it comes from our own beliefs and our personality, which we have formed right from the time we were conceived in the womb of our mother.
Mm. And I have to ask you, going a little ahead, probably from where we are talking, what do you think of the traditional birthing methods in India? And if I use an example, I would say my birthing experience was I was in the hospital, I was having contractions, and the nurses were all around me, but they were all gossiping and, you know, they were their loudest at that point in time. And I see that in a lot of hospitals, things go about as usual. Somebody is in labor in that period when they're right about to deliver, but it's just as usual. So there's nothing special that
Hmm.
that you're made to feel. But for you, it's a very it's an emotionally overwhelming, a very special time.
Hmm.
And uh, and I felt that probably that gossiping and all of that, all of those things that happened were not really helping me in the process. So what do you think, how this can be improved?
Yeah. So the first and the foremost thing, Divya, what we call the traditional birthing methods are not the traditional birthing methods. What we witness and what we experience today is a very, very skewed approach of birthing. Birthing traditionally is a very, very sacred process. It's a sacred process between the mother and the child. However, today we have made it very, very mechanical. If you study
Mm,
about any of our ancient cultures or even the cultures that are still practicing the ancient practices, During the birthing process, the mother and the child are just given their time to go through it and experience it in full glory at their own pace. There are no unnecessary interventions unless and until the mother demands it. However,
Mm.
the birthing that we see today is highly, I would say, too many interventions are involved in it, whether it is required or not. It has become too
Mm.
mechanical. Fine. Okay. You are experiencing something, go to the hospital. Let's rush it up. Let's rush it up. That is the word,
Yeah,
that is the thought everybody has. Instead of
true.
enjoying the process of birthing, everybody is just focusing on the end result of just getting the baby out without even
Mm.
understanding and thinking that even the process of the child coming out into the world has an impact on him or her and as well as the mother. So what when
Yeah.
even I see today that things have become so mechanized, what I feel is the mother and the child need to be given their space. And that is something we practice even in hypnobirthing. We believe that, it's
Um,
absolutely, in fact, it is a very natural process. Birthing in itself is a very natural process. So let us keep it natural. Let us intervene only when it is required. Unnecessary checking or telling the mother, okay, why don't we rush it up? Let's do this so that things get faster. We believe that, the child should be given the time to even grow his or her last hair before he or she comes into this world. So that's
mm.
what I feel that today's practices, wherein there is so much focus on just getting the child out of the mother's womb, that should change. The focus should be on making it a pleasurable experience for the child and the mother and the family in general. And that is something that we strive to achieve using hypnobirthing.
Yeah, and it gave me goosebumps when you said it's all mechanical and everybody is rushing to get the baby out. I think we would all agree, those who have been through the process in the hospitals, they would agree that you can be induced just to get your pains faster, even if you're having pains naturally. And all of this really gave me goosebumps. So I would like to join the dots from what we were discussing earlier, that the conscious develops right at the time of conception to the birthing time. So if we were to define hypnobirthing, would it include all of that?
Yeah. So hypnobirthing is basically use of combination of techniques to achieve maximum relaxation, comfort, and relief during childbirth, and to make the complete experience of pregnancy a beautiful one.
Okay.
So it involves a set of 5 classes that make use of various techniques using hypnosis, visualization, physical exercise, breathing, and many other natural ways in which a woman's body and her baby they work together to help make birthing a easier and enjoyable process.
Okay. So in a way, is it about pushing people towards a more natural way of birthing, a more controlled way where the person who's undergoing this experience is in charge?
See, birthing in itself is a natural process. There is nothing
Mm.
unnatural about it.
Yeah.
And in hypnobirthing, the focus is to connect the parents back to this fact that it is absolutely natural process. Your bodies are prepared for it. And
Mm.
hypnobirthing is about empowering the parents to manage their pregnancy as well as birthing with calm and balance. So, we provide a lot of information during our hypnobirthing sessions. We provide them a lot of practical exercises that they can do on their own. So, there is no dependence on anybody. That is why we call it hypnobirthing classes. It's not just a program. It's a class where we are
Mm.
teaching you each and everything that you would require for your birthing. So this empowers them and it reduces the helplessness that parents feel at various occasions, with new developments happening which seem beyond their control. And this helps
Mm.
them be better prepared to nurture the new life that they're about to welcome in their lives. Because most of the
Yeah.
time during birthing, the parents are clueless what is happening. Or we were told, people told us this is something happens, and so we decided let's do it like this. And most of the time,
Mm.
they're not even deciding. depending on what is the information they are getting from around themselves, they just say, okay, let's go with the flow. So in
Yeah.
hypnobirthing, the parents are very much empowered to question everything, to seek the information that they deserve, and make informed choices at each and every step.
Yeah. And I think that's the power that we all need. And also, just to emphasize on the fact that there's a lot of vague information around us. Everybody's experience is different, and they would assume that that's how things happen. So
Mhm.
when we
True.
get information from our peers, our mothers, and the elders in the family, it can differ from person to person, and it can be it can be perplexing to the new parents right from pregnancy. So I believe that's what hypnobirthing helps us with.
Right. See, what happens is, like I said, birthing is a very, very natural process in itself. But the
Mhm.
stories that we have heard, experiences that we have heard about others, oh, this is something that happened with my mother, our own, like when we took birth, the
Mhm.
experience that we had, all these have colored our view of birthing. So
Yeah.
we feel like, even if you see in movies, I mean, they are like, sorry to say, use that word, but one of the biggest culprits. You see a birthing scenario in any of our movies and you feel, oh my God, this is like, what a torture. Do I really want to go through it? And that is something that happens, when parents, they come to me, mothers, they are enjoying their pregnancy per se, but they are
Mm.
dead scared of the birthing process. They are like, I am so afraid of the pain that I will go through. What is going to happen? All this is coming from the different kind of conditioning that we have received, the experiences that we have heard about others. But we need to understand that nature has perfectly planned your bodies for the birthing process. And if we let nature do its work, it's all going to fall in place. Only because
Yeah.
we have so many misconceptions stored in our mind, it has started impacting our birthing process. And that is something we really need to tackle on. So, all this fear release, conditioning release is a major part of hypnobirthing. Every
Yeah.
hypnobirthing session provides the parents individual and customized approach to let go of their fears, let go of their apprehensions, so that they can start their pregnancy journey, their birthing process with a clean slate.
Yeah.
During the pregnancy, the child is not only taking nutrition from the mother, the child is also taking emotions and thoughts from the mother. So it is very important that both the set of parents, not only the mother, even the father, both of them are equally involved, and both of them can release as much baggage as possible so that they are not passing it on to the child. So we
Mm.
even work on that emotional aspect in our hypnobirthing classes. So I mean, there are many times when I joke it should not be hypnobirthing, it should be actually a combination of
Mm.
hypnopregnancy, hypnoparenting, hypnobirthing, because the areas that hypnobirthing covers is vast. It's like it's
Mm.
taking care of the child right from the conception till the time he or she is opening his or her eyes into this world, and even thereafter. Because the techniques that parents are learning in hypnobirthing, they are using it even even for their parenting. Once the child is out in the
Yeah.
world, they use those techniques to be calm. Because rearing a child has its shares of ups and downs. So those techniques can be used by the
Mm.
parents even later on to have a much more calmer parenting experience in their life.
Yeah. So, like you said, it's empowering you once you know how to calm yourself down, to know how things happen. You can take your own decisions and probably go with it and take it to the next level when you get into the real parenting stuff as a child grows.
Yeah.
So, Niyati, I would ask you um, the another question that I would like to ask you is what has been your biggest challenge in preparing people to a more natural method of pregnancy, birthing, parenting?
So the biggest challenge is honestly spreading awareness about hypnobirthing, making people realize why is it important for them, and deconditioning them. These are the basic areas where we need to work the most when we are in the field of hypnobirthing or for any kind of empowering birthing technique to talk about. Because, everybody believes that birthing, oh, it will just happen. Okay, like I really don't have to do anything. Like mothers
Mm.
feel that, okay, now I'm pregnant, but what can I do about it? I just have to wait it out for 9 months, and then whatever is to be done will be done by the doctor in the hospital. I can't do it. Father feels, oh, I thought I'm like totally out of the picture. It's my wife who is carrying the child, so what can I do about it? So everybody feels they can't
Mm.
do anything about it. So to bring them to the point that you are the ones who can do everything about it, because it is about the mother, the father, and the child only. Nothing else matters. And to decondition them with all the belief that they have already picked up down the line about how pregnancy should be, how good parents they should be once the child comes into this world, and all the things that can go wrong. This is like, once the parents approach me in the very first session, all I hear is, what if this happens, what if that happens? So they have all the knowledge, but unfortunately they have all the knowledge of what all can go wrong in their pregnancy. Yeah. So
Yeah.
to decondition them that, for everything in this life, even like today when you and me are talking, there are 110 things that can happen. 110
Mm.
things that can go right and 110 things that can go wrong. So we just can't
Yeah.
have one view. If we take care, if we have a mindful life, then we can take care of a lot of things in our life. So that's what we teach our parents in the session, that it's okay, let's now work on first letting go of all the beliefs that you are carrying. And what another challenge
Mm.
that we face is, parents still are now, making an effort to be mindful about their pregnancies and their birthing process. But we are still, in the process of seeking support from the medical fraternity. Although things have really improved from the time I had started in this field. Today, gynecologists themselves are certifying themselves for hypnobirthing because they have seen the results in front of their eyes. So nowadays we are getting support, but we still have a long way to go.
Yeah.
So I would say the major challenges is this only, to decondition the parents, to bring them to the level where they are ready to empower themselves and take charge of their
Mm.
birthing process, and also to seek support from the people who are involved with them in this journey, be it their doctors or even be it their families.
Yeah. And when you talked about deconditioning, I had this thought that, do even men come to you, or do women alone come to you for these classes? Do men come to you?
So hypnobirthing is something which is worked on as couples. It's not only about the mother.
Mm.
So we call
Yeah.
it, we have the mother and we have her birthing companion, which is mostly the father, unless and until because of some kind of, if they're working outside and they're physically not available, then we
Yeah.
seek some other birth companion. But hypnobirthing process always focuses on making it a family experience, which can be done only if both the mother father are involved in the process.
Yeah,
Because
should
we are teaching
absolutely.
all the techniques to both of them, so that when a mother is seeking support, she has the birth companion around to just help her with the prompts when required. So
Yeah.
mother already knows what is to be done. If she needs a little help around, a little support around, the birth companion is around to help her in that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it should be. And just to ask you, when should somebody start their hypnobirthing journeys or these classes?
Once you complete the first trimester, that is the best part to start it. The earlier, the merrier, because that gives you a lot of time to practice. And by the time you reach your phase of birthing, you are like a pro at all the techniques that have been taught to you.
Hmm. And since we've been focusing on birthing, pregnancy, and all of that being a more natural experience, does it result in more natural births?
See, like I said, in hypnobirthing, we focus on minimal intervention in the birthing process. However, I would be very clear about it that, uh, nothing, there are no guarantees in this world. So, in case there
Mm.
is some kind of a medical condition which requires an intervention, which requires some kind of operative procedure, it's absolutely fine. In hypnobirthing, we are not of the opinion that no, no intervention or no operative procedure is allowed. Whatever your body is guiding, we go with that. However, if you have been practicing hypnobirthing, so if there is a condition where an operative procedure is required, you see a difference in your birthing process even in that. Because hypnobirthing is all about making the complete journey of pregnancy a pleasurable one and not just the end result. So even
Yeah.
if there is some kind of requirement for which you are choosing to go for some kind of operative procedure, you will see a lot of difference even in the time that you recover. The kind of experience you have even with the operative procedure, a holistic experience will be a very, very pleasurable one.
Yeah. So it is more about preparedness. You're prepared, even if
Right.
you unfortunately have to go for operative measures or some other measures.
Divya, I would like to correct you here. There's nothing
Hmm.
unfortunate about.
Ah,
You are
yeah.
getting to have your child absolutely healthy in your arms. You are getting to
Hmm.
be healthy yourself. What is unfortunate about it? See, this is a
True.
conditioning that I talk about.
Yeah.
This is, what is unfortunate? The thing that is unfortunate is when you share the news about your child with your, family members or the extended family, the first question they ask is, so normal tha ya cesarean tha?
Yeah.
This, trust
True.
me, is the most unfortunate thing.
Hmm.
How does that matter? The fact
Yeah.
that the child is healthy, the fact that the mother is healthy, is all that matters. And that is why I'm saying in hypnobirthing, we are not focusing on the end result. We understand birthing in
Hmm.
itself is a right from pregnancy till the birthing, it is a natural process. Your body knows what to do. However, if for some reason your body needs some kind of help, it's absolutely fine to seek it. Let us now please, do away
Yeah.
with this stigma associated with interventional birthing.
Yeah.
Yes, we should not make it our first choice. First chance should be given to nature, but if the nature seeks help, it's absolutely fine to take it. There is nothing wrong. Let us stop looking down at mamas who are going for interventional birthing for whatever reason, whether out of choice, whether due to circumstances, whatever. It's the mother's, the father's choice. Let them do whatever they want. It is their birthing, it is their child. Let's
Yeah.
stop judging them.
Yeah. And let's stop judging ourselves because probably I said unfortunate because yeah, the way you said it, it's the conditioning that's deep rooted. So it's unfortunate that we're using unfortunate word for something that may not go natural. So yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for correcting me in the first place. So I put it this way. So once somebody is prepared, and like you just prepared me with this understanding that if it's not natural, even if it's interventional or one has to undergo other means, it's absolutely okay. You're okay. You're absolutely capable. You are a healthy, fine being, and there's nothing wrong about it. That's what it prepares you. It might reduce the anxiety that one undergoes later because of the conditioning that we've received all these years. That if it's not natural, it's not right. That's something
True.
that I underwent
Yeah.
after my birthing experience.
Yeah, and we need to understand, Divya, that, pregnancy, bearing a child, or even parenting for that matter, they are not some kind of races and there's no book to them.
Mm,
So let us just
yeah.
trust our bodies and let us just trust our minds and choose the kind of journey we want. Because even when the child is out in the world, at every step, you will be judged. Are you
Yeah.
breastfeeding your child? Oh, you give formula milk to your child. Why?
Mm,
So, as a
true.
society, we need to change. We need to give the mothers and the child their space to fit into this world. Just the way the child has just come into this world, the mother has also just born with the child. She will also take her time to get, adjusted to some kind of routine to find her way out. So let's give, in
Hmm.
fact, that's what I say. Our traditional practices were beautiful ones. The 40-day period
Hmm.
that was given to the mother and the child to rest. I think that
Yeah.
is mandatory in today's world. I mean, you should just lock up the mother and the child in the room for 40 days and give them the space.
Yeah, I agree. And these practices have been around traditionally for a long time. And I do believe in this that this is why it becomes really important for us to equip ourselves, new parents and mothers, expecting mothers. We need to equip ourselves with the right kind of knowledge so that we know when we are doing something that's right. And we don't end up being confused by the plethora of information or the advice that is presented to us throughout that journey. But I do see that, Niyati, that when it comes to birthing classes, in my case, I did search for birthing classes and I did ask my gynecologist, okay, do you have some birthing classes? And she said, you'll get all this information when you are in, when you are in the process of
Yeah.
delivering the child, when you actually get contractions.
Hmm.
And I did not actually, same here, I did not make that effort to go online and search if something's there outside. And I do, understand that a lot of us don't feel the need to. So what would you suggest to all of us in that kind of a situation?
Yeah. You know what, Divya? This is what is the unfortunate part.
Mhm.
Natural birth, C-section, whatever, they are not the fortunate, unfortunate things. This is what is the
Mhm.
unfortunate part, that we are not, we are about to bring a child in this world and we are not ready to invest our time and energy in finding what is the best way to do it. Now tell me something. When we are about to get married, how much effort we put in that process? Like if you go to a lady who does your hair and makeup, how many trials and all that you do? If that person would tell you, don't worry, on the day of the wedding we will see, you will have everything available, what would you have done at that time? Would you have just simply gone with it? Okay, on the day of the wedding I will see if she can manage it or not.
No.
Then same is the situation. We are putting so much effort that, our look should be fine, this should be fine, everything should be perfect when we are getting married. Then why can't we have the same attitude when we are about to bring our child in this world? Why can't we take onus of this thing? It is our responsibility, it is our job to bring the child in this world in a manner which is very comfortable for us and the child. So why are we shying away from taking that responsibility? Why are we shying away from researching about it? There is so much information available online. There are so many birthing practitioners available. If you just Google it once, you will surely get somebody in your area. All of us are available online, offline, phone calls. So if you make a slight effort, we are always there to help you. The only thing that is
Agreed.
required is, as parents, we need to take that responsibility. We need to take the power in our hands rather than giving it away to somebody and then saying, oh, he or she didn't tell me, or he or she told me
Yeah.
something like this. You are the
Mhm.
parent. You didn't make a choice of getting the child in this world by taking permission from somebody. It was your choice, it was your decision. So rest everything will
Yeah.
also be your choice and your decision. So take that power in your hand, research about it, go through the right person. We all are always there to guide you. The whole community, the whole birthing community is always more than happy to guide the would be parents in whatever way it's possible. The only thing we
Yeah.
expect from them is to be serious about it and to be proactive about it. That is all that is required.
Yeah. And I think it's very strange that now that I'm doing this talk show, this podcast, I am a lot more proactive. I go about trying to understand things that I think were not right when I had that experience of having my first child.
Hmm.
So it does come to my mind, why did not I actually go, and why I did not do that much effort when I was in that situation? It would have helped so much more. And I
True.
think which is why I would request all our listeners to take this information, understand why it's important. And it's a very important thing in our family cultures. We see that when we go out of the, what's casual and what's happening around us,
Mhm.
when we don't take that information from people around us, we do somewhere subconsciously feel that it will hurt people around us. But let's just be very positive about the fact that if we bring information from somewhere, it will always help someone around us. So when we have that thought process that it's actually helping everyone around us,
Hmm.
we will be able to take that first step.
Yeah.
And
And
thank you so.
we
Yeah.
also, as parents, we also need to understand one thing that, we think our parenting journey will start once the child is born. Like, and we
Mm.
consider birthing as a very medical procedure. Okay, this is something which is going to happen in the hospital. Once the child is out in the world, then our job starts. But the awareness that is required is our job starts the moment the child is conceived. The complete 9 months, the birthing process, after that, it's a continuous job. So we need to be very, very mindful of each and every step there that is required.
Yes. Yes, and that's the information, that's the knowledge that we need to equip us with.
Yeah.
So, Nidhi, I'd go on. Yeah, and I'll go on and ask you. I think before we wrap up, I'll ask you this last question. What was that wow moment in your journey as a hypnobirthing expert? Would you like to tell us something about it? Something that was really miraculous.
You know what? The very process of the child coming into this world is a miracle. And to be able to witness that miracle is like a wow moment forever. So my every hypnobirthing case, it has been a wow experience for me and for my hypnobirthing parents for sure. So I cannot pinpoint a particular case per se, but there's one
Mm,
common moment that I experience in all my cases is when we are doing our prenatal exercises and we are bonding with the child, and the child actually responds back. So that is like a beautiful, beautiful moment. And the parents are always so excited. Oh, see, the child is moving like this. Every time I do this, the child does
mm,
this thing. So the child is already started responding to me. So I think that is a beautiful moment. Much before the child is coming into this world, the parents are able to bond with their child and they are able to interact. And that's like a coming together as a family that I witness in every session. And I think that is the most beautiful part. That's the part that's the closest to my heart for sure.
yes, definitely. And I remember when I was expecting, throughout the first few months, I was like waiting when would that time come when I'll be able to actually experience those kicks, those moments that, and I still remember how that happened. So I'm sure it must have been really beautiful. And whatever you do, I think all of this is, like I said, your name Niyati has a purpose, and all of this has a purpose. So, Niyati, thank you so much for coming on board, for letting us know what hypnobirthing is, for telling us how to go about things, how to inculcate that knowledge and work with that knowledge. Inculcating knowledge is not bad. It's a wonderful thing to equip yourself. And let's just go ahead with that. Thank you so much, Niyati.
Thank you so much, Divya, for having me over. I really hope that whatever we discussed, it creates a difference in the lives of the people who are listening and they are able to make informed decisions regarding their birthing and their parenting experiences. So thank you so much for having me over.
Thank you, Niyati. I'm sure it will be really helpful, and I'll have all the information about where you can find Niyati if you want to discuss something. If you are in that phase and everything, you'll be able to find all that information in the description box. We now go on to the parenting tip of the episode. The parenting tip of the episode is that you'd remember that we started this year with three goals, one of which was to inculcate the right knowledge by reading books, to read about different experiences and make informed decisions, like I said, in life. And how does that become a parenting tip? Okay, so I often say that parenting is an instinctive process. And what do I mean when I say that? So it doesn't have to be based on the fact that when you have an instinct to thrash your child, maybe when you've run out of patience, it's not that. You don't do that. When I say instinctive, I mean that it has to be based on the unique relationship between you and your child. You know your child the most, and you have been presented that possibility, that opportunity to be able to observe nature unfold in its raw form right in front of your eyes. So you can observe all of that and have that unique bonding with your child. So that is why it becomes very significant that you read, you learn about child psychology, you learn how children behave, why they behave the way they do. You observe your child and see what works best for you. So that would be the parenting tip of the episode. You should have the right tools. You should absolutely tailor them to your needs, to your unique relationship. So go on, learn something today, and your children will follow along. With that thought, I'll take an exit and we'll be back with another informative episode on childbirthing process. If you like listening to us, please tell us. Write to us, share your stories. It will help us bring more quality content. If there's something specific you'd want to know, you can always tell us. We'll try and have that curated for you. If you think what we bring to you can help a fellow mother, sister, or your friends, or even your husband, share it. You can follow us for more frequent updates on Instagram, Facebook, and other social media handles, which is mentioned in the description box. Sending you lots of love and warmth. Till then, keep listening.